You feel it first in your frame. The mornings arrive a little earlier, sleep feels lighter, and your knees remind you that time has a pulse. The coffee tastes the same, but it doesn't wake you like it used to. You scroll through messages, half of them unanswered, and realize you don't owe a reply to every echo anymore. At 50, life doesn't rush you. It begins to breathe differently, not to warn you, but to invite you, to listen to what the body has been whispering long before the mind was ready to hear. You might feel it as a question: what's still real for you? What still matters? What are you finally ready to release? Most people don't answer. They fill every quiet space with work, with screens, with motion, afraid of what might surface when the body slows and the mind catches up. But that pause isn't empty. It's sacred. It's where the next version of you begins to take form. This chapter of life doesn't break you. It simply removes the noise that once kept you distracted, and what remains is who you've always been beneath the chase. So if you've felt it lately, the restlessness, the slowing down, the deeper noticing, you're not falling behind. You're right on time. Because after 50, life doesn't end. It reveals. Let's begin. When the mirror stops agreeing with you, you wake up, walk past the mirror, and something makes you stop. Not because you dislike what you see, but because it doesn't match how you feel inside. Your mind still says 25, but the reflection, it's begun to tell the truth. It's not loss. It's proof that you've stayed long enough to witness change. It's not betrayal. It's an invitation. At 50, the mirror changes roles. It stops flattering and starts teaching. Every sleepless night, every laugh that left a mark, every time you swallowed words to keep peace, it all shows up here. The world calls them wrinkles. But they're not flaws, they're evidence. You've lived enough to leave traces. Most people glance away. They adjust the light, fix their hair, rush out the door. They think the mirror's job is to confirm youth, but maybe its purpose is to reveal presence. When the mirror stops protecting your ego, it starts protecting your truth, because for the first time, you're not performing. You're seeing. Your body feels it too. The slight heaviness under your eyes, the slower stretch when you wake. But instead of fighting it, what if you just listened? Maybe your body isn't tired. Maybe it's asking you to breathe differently, to value what's still here. Let me tell you about Mark. He's 53. Last Sunday, instead of joining the family dinner, he went to watch an old film he's always loved. His sister called him distant. His son said he was being selfish. Mark didn't argue. He just watched the credits roll in silence and drove home with a quiet smile. He wasn't running from anyone. He was returning to himself, because calm doesn't always look compliant. Sometimes it just looks like choosing your own evening. It's not about how you look, but how you meet your own gaze. Youth was about projection, convincing the world you mattered. Midlife is about presence, realizing you already do. The mirror no longer sells illusions, it sells honesty. And the older you get, the richer that honesty feels. You stop asking for approval from glass and start finding it in stillness. You no longer need the mirror to say you are enough, because you already know. So next time you see your reflection, don't adjust, don't correct, pause, stay. Look long enough until the static fades. That reflection isn't reminding you of time lost. It's showing you everything that lasted. The patience, the forgiveness, the quiet strength that never left. Because the mirror doesn't show what's gone, it shows what endured. And that's the real truth of this decade. You're not breaking down, you're finally standing whole. When the world speeds up and you slow down, It starts quietly, not in your mind, but in your body. You wake up before the alarm, not from rest, but from a noise inside your chest. You pour the same coffee, but it hits different now. Your heart races after 2 cups. Your eyes blur after an hour at the screen. And by afternoon, your body feels like it's saying enough. By this age, the world begins to sprint. Deadlines, messages, family plans. Everyone's in a rush, but you start craving space, the kind that lets you tune in again. Not the empty kind, the kind that feels like oxygen. That's when most people panic. They think slowing down means losing relevance. They see the young ones typing faster, posting louder, running harder, and they feel left behind, so they push, with caffeine, noise, and proof, until one day their body rebels. The heart says no, the knees protest, the mind fogs. But what if that's not weakness? What if it's wisdom? Maybe the body isn't giving up, and maybe it's asking to be heard, because stillness isn't the absence of life. It's the beginning of control. Think of an old fisherman on the shore. He doesn't throw his net at every ripple. He waits, feeling the rhythm of the tide. The younger men call it laziness. But he knows the ocean gives more to those who move with it, not against it. That's what your 50s teach you. You stop explaining yourself to people who've already decided who you are. You no longer seek to prove. You simply are in rooms that drain your energy. And somehow, the less you fight, the more life comes back to you. You feel it physically first. The breath slowing down, the shoulders relaxing when someone argues, the heart staying steady when plans fall apart. It's not that you don't care, it's that you've stopped burning for things that don't matter. The world praises motion, but wisdom, it walks. A river doesn't rush to reach the ocean, it trusts the pull of gravity. And maybe that's the real test of this age, to move when it's time to move, and to be still when stillness is the smartest move of all. Some people will misunderstand. They'll say you've lost your fire, but they don't see that peace and passion can live in the same heart. You're not fading, you're focusing. You've just figured out where your energy's actually worth spending. So when the world speeds up again and your body says slow down, listen. You're not behind, you're in rhythm with something deeper, something the young haven't discovered yet. Because real strength at this stage of life isn't how fast you move, it's how deeply you stay. If that line hits something in you, tell me below. I want to know how your rhythm has changed these years, and if this message spoke to you, give it a like. That's how these thoughts find more men who need them. The weight you no longer need to carry. It begins in the vessel that carries you, not from work, but from people. At this point in life, it's not gravity that weighs you down. It's expectations, the quiet pressure to stay useful, kind, patient, unshaken, even when you're exhausted. You've spent decades holding the world together, family, career, peace, image, but your body knows what your mouth won't say. You've been carrying too much. It's not age, it's accumulation. Every time you said yes when you meant no, every time you swallowed frustration just to keep things calm, you did what you had to with the tools you had. That's not weakness, that's survival. My friend Clara learned that the hard way. For years, she stayed quiet to keep her family close. Then one morning, her hands began to tremble. Doctors said, stress. So she made one small change. She stopped apologizing for needing time alone. And slowly, her hands stopped shaking. That's the quiet paradox of midlife. The less you hold, the lighter you move. And maybe that's what real strength feels like. Not stronger in muscle, stronger in being. Because freedom doesn't come from lifting more. It comes from learning what not to carry. You didn't fail. You just forgot to rest. Most people don't realize it until the body forces a pause. Sometimes wisdom arrives wearing fatigue. You outgrow the need for approval. You stop explaining why you're tired. You stop attending every emotional fire you didn't start. And if it took you decades to learn that, it's okay. Peace comes late to the ones who cared the most. You realize that peace doesn't come from control. It comes from release. It's not that you've stopped caring. You've just stopped auditioning. People will notice. Some will call you selfish. Others will say you've changed. But balance often gets mistaken for distance to those who benefit from your self-neglect. Your breath deepens, your spine straightens, you sleep a little longer without guilt. And healing isn't just emotional, it's physical. A 20-minute walk, a simple stretch, a full night of sleep, they do more for your peace than any argument ever will. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look well to the body, for it is the fortress of the soul." This stage of life isn't about endurance anymore. It's about clarity. You finally understand that love without boundaries isn't love. It's exhaustion. That forgiveness doesn't mean staying silent. It means staying honest. That caring for others doesn't mean abandoning yourself. So if you've been feeling that invisible heaviness lately, it's not age knocking. It's freedom waiting. The less you carry, the more you rise. And what once felt like aging begins to feel like arriving. When you get tired of pretending you're fine, you think you're tired, but maybe you're finally awake. It's not your body that's shutting down. It's your mind refusing to fake energy for things that no longer deserve it. At 50, exhaustion feels different. You're not worn out, you're tuned out. But that emptiness isn't failure. It's your spirit asking for space to breathe. And your system always knows the heaviness behind your eyes, the small tension in your chest when you pretend everything's fine. It's not fatigue, it's your truth asking to breathe. Your muscles remember every time you went quiet instead of honest. Have you ever noticed how your body tells the truth before your mouth does? A long-term British health study found that people who reported frequent fatigue in their 50s showed weaker grip strength and slower movement in their 60s. In simple terms, when your body says enough, it's not complaining. It's protecting you from a pace that no longer fits your season of life. Adrian wasn't collapsing. He was just absent. One night while teaching his son to drive, the boy asked, "Why don't you ever look out the window when we stop?" And it hit him. He'd spent years moving, earning, fixing us so, but not feeling. That night, he realized he didn't have endless time anymore. He had to start living, not just functioning, because that's how it really happens. Not in a breakdown, but in a pause so small it rewires you, because honesty gives back more energy than sleep ever will. But honesty alone isn't enough. Your body needs its allies too. Exercise, clean food, stillness, they rebuild the chemistry your peace depends on. As Jim Rohn once said, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. Of course, it takes time. Peace isn't learned in a weekend. If you're here because you're rebuilding your peace, stay. Subscribe to this space. Every word here is built for men who are done performing and ready to live. How doing one thing with care feels better than juggling 10 things for show. How a real laugh from your gut feels like medicine your doctor forgot to prescribe. This stage of life isn't about having more energy. It's about using less on what drains it. Your focus sharpens. You become allergic to drama, impatience, and distractions wearing urgency. And slowly you realize stillness may look slow from the outside, but inside it's the fastest way back to yourself. There's humor in it too. You used to think saying no was rude. Now you say it like a prayer. Now you say no so often, your phone probably thinks it's your favorite word. You used to chase stimulation. Now a silent Sunday feels like winning the lottery. That's how you know you've shifted. You no longer run on adrenaline. You run on alignment. So when the world calls you quiet, detached, or different, just smile. They're still chasing energy. You've learned how to keep it, because the secret of midlife isn't more fuel, it's fewer leaks. When familiar things stop feeling the same, you pour your morning coffee, same cup, same taste, but something feels off. The music you used to love now feels too loud. The crowd that once gave you energy now leaves you drained. Even the victories you chased for years suddenly feel quiet. At 50, it's not that life got dull, it's that your brain finally stopped confusing stimulation with fulfillment. The dopamine rush that used to drive you no longer does. Because what once thrilled you, novelty, attention, applause, now just feels like noise compared to the peace you've been missing. One neurologist once told me, after midlife, the brain stops chasing fireworks, it starts craving meaning. And I've seen it happen. The thrill that once came from winning now feels empty. The rush that used to push you forward now just feels loud. It's not that you've lost passion, it's that your soul has outgrown noise. You still enjoy things, just differently. You're not broken, you're just built for depth now. It's why people start gardening, painting, reading again. Not because they're bored, but because simplicity suddenly feels like truth. You move slower, but you notice more, and what used to look small now feels sacred. A man named Joseph once said, "When I was younger, I wanted to see the world. Now I just want to sit where the sun hits the wall in the afternoon." That's not giving up, that's waking up. Because peace doesn't need an audience, it only needs presence. So if the familiar feels strange lately, the hobbies don't excite you, the noise feels heavier, don't panic. You're not losing passion, you're shedding distraction. And that's the moment you realize nothing outside you was ever missing. Your mind is shifting from wanting more to wanting meaning. This is the moment life starts filtering itself for you. The wrong people fade, the wrong ambitions lose flavor, the wrong battles dissolve before they even begin. That's not isolation, that's intelligence. And what's left? Silence that feels alive. Work that feels lighter. Moments that used to rush past. Now you actually live inside them. This is the beauty of the brain at peace. It doesn't crave 1,000 things anymore. It finally has room for the few that matter. So when you wake up and the world feels different, don't try to bring the old thrill back. That's not where life is calling you. It's calling you inward, to move quieter, to notice what's still alive inside. That's when it hits you. Peace isn't a reward for surviving life. It's what life was trying to teach you all along. Have you felt that too? When simple things start feeling holy? When you realize you've become the quiet anchor. There's a moment after 50 when you stop being the storm and start becoming the shore. You no longer rush to fix every problem. You just stand still and let others find their footing beside you. For most of your life, you were the engine, the one who drove, solved, carried, built. Now you begin to notice a quiet change. People come to you not for answers, but for calm. And strangely, you give it without trying. Your body may not move as fast, but your presence travels further. A glance, a word, a pause from you now steadies a room. That's not weakness, that's transmission, because real influence doesn't need volume. It moves through stillness. You see it in small moments. Your grown children speak, and you listen without needing to correct a colleague panics, and you just breathe. And somehow, they settle too. The world still spins, but you no longer feel the need to spin with it. I remember a woman named June, a retired teacher in her 60s. She told me, "I used to want to change every student. Now I just want them to feel safe enough to change themselves." That's what wisdom sounds like when it softens. It doesn't shout anymore. It shelters, and this change isn't just emotional, it's physical. Studies show that heart rate and stress hormones drop faster in people who practice calm response rather than control response. Meaning, when you choose steadiness over struggle, your body begins to heal from decades of rushing. So when you catch yourself talking less, feeling less reactive, and even enjoying silence more than conversation, don't mistake it for distance. That's your nervous system learning peace. That's your spirit returning to center. After 50, you start realizing something profound, that your value isn't in how much you do, but in how deeply you are. Your family, your friends, even strangers, start finding grounding just by being near you. You've become the quiet anchor in a noisy world. You talk less, react less, and smile more when someone argues. Not because you've mastered peace, but because you're just too old for nonsense. What's one kind of nonsense you've finally learned to walk away from? If someone came to mind while you listened, share this with them. Sometimes one quiet message is enough to steady a friend who's drowning in noise. Funny how silence says the truest things, and there's beauty in that, because every storm needs a shore, and at this age, you finally become one. When you finally stop running from time, there comes a point when you stop fighting the clock. You no longer chase youth like something you've lost. You start walking with time, not against it. At 50 and beyond, something beautiful happens. You stop counting how long you've got left and start counting what's still worth feeling. What's one thing you finally stopped chasing and don't miss it all? You realize that no one actually runs out of time. They just run out of presence. Your body slows, yes, but not in defeat. It's slowing to let you catch up with yourself. Your back stiffens, your hands ache, your sleep lightens. But every small discomfort is also a reminder. You're still here, still learning how to live inside change. One evening, I met a man named Elliot, 71. He said, "I used to fear getting older. Now I just fear rushing past it without truly living it." He smiled as he said it, watching the sunset spill across his garden. And in that moment, I understood. Aging isn't leaving life behind. It's learning to hold it without crushing it. You begin to see it everywhere. The gray hair you once hid now glows like silver, proof of endurance. The slower mornings become invitations to feel instead of rush. The small talk fades, replaced by quiet honesty. Even your heartbeat feels different. Less like a drum of urgency, more like a pulse of gratitude. And that's when time stops being your enemy. It bums your rhythm. Because aging isn't loss, it's revelation. It strips away what never mattered and leaves you with what always did. It's the phase where achievement turns into appreciation, where performance softens into peace. People think wisdom comes from years. It doesn't. It comes from paying attention to the years you've been given. And that's what you've been learning all along, not how to stay young, but how to stay awake. So if you've noticed yourself slowing down, don't call it decline, call it alignment. If you've lost your edge, maybe it's because you have finally found your depth, because time doesn't take from you. It trades. Of course, it takes courage to trust that trade, to stop chasing and start receiving. It gives you vision for vanity, substance for speed, truth for illusion. And one day, you'll look in the mirror, and instead of mourning what's gone, you'll whisper, "I finally see it." The beauty was never in how long you lived. It was in how deeply you noticed. So now you've seen it, the quiet changes that arrive after 50, the steadying body, the softer voice, the deeper calm. They don't come to punish you. They come to return you. For most of life, you've been building, collecting, proving, rushing. But this chapter isn't about more. It's about meaning. It's the season where life stops testing your strength and starts revealing your wisdom. You begin to understand that aging isn't a thief. It's a sculptor. It takes away what's unnecessary so you can finally see the shape of who you truly are. So don't rush to fix what's changing. Let it teach you, let it slow you, let it show you that peace isn't something you chase. It's something you uncover when you stop running. Because at this stage, the point isn't to stay young, it's to stay awake, to feel the sun on your skin and know it's enough. To look in the mirror and see not what's gone, but everything that endured. You're not running out of time. You're running into yourself, and maybe that's what all of this was for.